Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Week 6 preview, Week 5 review of the League Manager's Note. I'm the commissioner, the reigning champ, Mr. Modest, aka Buzzsaw, joined by Joel Gibson today. How you feeling today, Joel?
I'm feeling great. We're back to winning basketball over here at how's it going over there?
It's going all right. We really got to work on your connection. Sometimes you break up and then other times you don't. I'm going to assume that you said you're excited about winning basketball, and we'll move on from there, okay?
Sounds good.
We'll start this week by going to the champs matchup. Kyle loses to the champ in devastating fashion. Absolutely devastating fashion. Kyle was winning. It was back and forth all week, super close. Who's playing, who's not playing. We both had injured players out all week. This COVID stuff is crazy, but everybody is dealing with the same stuff. It's the same percentages. It's not like there are people having less issues. Everybody's dealing with it, in my opinion. So we're just doing our best out here. Kyle, I thought, would have had me. I also think him having Westbrook out all week and getting him back today was big for him. But Murray had to give it to him, just like Murray gave it to Steven. I'll move to 5-0, and that's 57 straight weeks without a loss in fantasy basketball, Joel Gibson.
Yeah, that's a few weeks too many, in my opinion.
Good game, Kyle. Just sucks. You've been injured a lot. Starting to get healthy. KD even sat a game this week. And that's just not what you want to see. The Warriors are looking kind of booty. I'm worried about Curry at the end of the season. But outside of that, I think Kyle is still going to get into the playoffs. So just watch out here. He's still not an easy out by any means. He almost took me down this week. Murray bailed me out. So thank you, DeJounte. I appreciate that. Next matchup is going to be Neiman beating CJ. Neiman was 3-1 entering the matchup. CJ was 1-3. Neiman won 6-5. It was a lot closer than I thought it was. I think it ended up being 6-5. So shout out to CJ. He is losing, but he's keeping these matchups close. I think that he and I had a trade as well, which should actually be processing in the next couple hours. Kemba for Oubre. I think it's going to work out well for both of our teams. We're both kind of looking for different things right now. And I'm happy to make this trade, and I'm happy to get Kelly. But Neiman continues to chug along. 4-1. Joker is carrying Neiman. McCollum being out did not slow Neiman down one bit. His line was still very impressive this week. Sexton was money.
Yeah, Sexton was huge. Did LeBron sit a game? I feel like he sat a game this week.
Did he? I thought he was questionable. What they're doing is they're throwing questionable tags on LeBron and Davis for every single game, and then they're playing every single game. I don't think LeBron sat one this week.
You know what? The more I think about it, I think you're right. He had something like a 17-point game, though, which was, surprisingly low for LeBron. But didn't fucking matter. Neiman's pretty fucking good, and I'm not happy to see Sexton on his team again.
Yeah, Sexton back is really good. He added Horford this week to throw on his IR as an injured player.
$8.
Yeah, I thought that could be a solid ad. He's still kind of older, and if OKC falls out, who knows at the end. But it's worth the risk. I don't blame Neiman in the spot that he was in for going for him. He's a good fit for his team, that's for sure.
For sure.
Next matchup is Eric at Steven. Steven gets the win here. Harden looks just like regular Harden, just on the Nets now. Eric forgot to set his lineups today. It was the battle of who would not set their lineups, and it seems Eric was more motivated to win that title. So Steven wins this week. Eric moves to 1-4. Steven to 2-3. So Steven's still in the hunt here. Eric maybe not so much. But Capella, I just want to say, Capella, triple-double with blocks. Get out of here. Get out of here. He's making your boy John Collins look silly.
I know, man. But, some sly operator may have traded him away after he put up that top 20 season last year.
It was definitely the right move. Looking out east, we've got Doug beating Matt. Doug actually got at me in the messenger about my power rankings last week. He felt that he should have been higher than Simmons since he has a win against Simmons. And I said if he beat Matt this week, we'd definitely talk. So we'll have to see if he moved up in my rankings or not. Matt has been plagued with injury. But Doug is really coming on. He's starting to put up some solid lines. Kyrie's playing again, which is big. Zinger's back. I think we're going to see the full force of Doug over the next couple weeks. And he's looking pretty good, that's for sure.
Yeah, it helps that Miles Turner is, putting up blocks like he's fucking Dikembe Mutombo.
It's interesting because he kind of did the same thing last year, too, where you and I got really high on him and we're like, he's going to be Defensive Player of the Year. He keeps this block up. And then at the end of the season, he kind of fell off, took some injuries. I got worried when he had that wrist injury. So there are still some question marks. But I do want to say without a shadow of a doubt that Miles Turner is nowhere close to the same value as Anthony Davis. I just want to put that out there in case anybody has any kind of confusion. Not quite there yet, big fella.
I have to agree, but just a couple other things about his team. Kawhi Leonard now is playing back-to-backs, and that's fucking huge. And DeAndre Hunter has been playing really well. Those two things have been huge, especially with Jimmy Butler having been out the last couple weeks. When Butler comes back, Doug's team, I think he could be a top 3 team.
I agree 100%. Moving on, we'll get into your matchup. Kind of a stunner here. As we said, you entered the matchup 2-2 against Adam. Adam's been playing well. He's been putting up good numbers. But you decided to shut the door this week. Go ahead, talk about it. Love it.
Yeah, it was just time to get another fucking win. We were tired of losing. The streak has ended. We're looking pretty good. We did it without Tatum this week, and Tatum is probable to come back tomorrow. I really like this team I got. I think that we were just off to a slow start, and I was telling you earlier this week, there's a lot of upside with my team. DeAndre Ayton is starting to look really good. My other DeAndre Jordan, he doesn't miss a lot of shots. He's something crazy, 18 of his last 20 shots he's made. So that's pretty nice. I feel good. I'm starting to get healthy. Alec Burks is back. We'll see where it goes, but it was not Adam's week. And the next time he sees me, it won't be his week either.
Speaking of field goal percentage, I just wanted to point this out as we get into this next matchup, which is Simmons beating Cody. 6-5, a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. And it came down to free throws. Robinson is still playing. Oh, it doesn't matter because Cody already has free throws in the bag, so never mind. It's 6-5. It was a lot closer than I thought. But then I started scrolling through and seeing the categories that Simmons won. He won one. You know what I mean? We were talking about field goal percentage. Doug and Simmons this week, field goal percentage, I am blown away. Simmons at 54% and Doug at 53%. That's absurd. That is absurd field goal percentage for a week long. Hands down, for sure.
Huge.
Simmons moves to 3-2, and Cody moves to 0-5. Is that 3 straight for Simmons? He lost the first 2, and now he's won 3 straight. He's starting to come on now and get healthy. Wood has been incredible. It's been unfortunate that now he's having an injury problem for Simmons. But so many positives coming. Shea looks so much better this week. Williamson looked better, and he might be getting JJJ back this week as well. So look out. Simmons, still a contenders team. He is 3-2 now. And with that said, that completes the first round of the divisionals. Everybody played all their 5 divisionals, so where you stand is where you are, because remember, tiebreakers start with head-to-heads, and if it's somebody that's in your division, you got 2 of them, you can really start separating yourself, which is why I was really excited to get through here with 5 in a row. It's going to be helpful come playoff, I know it. That being said, I've got my updated ranks, the things everybody's been waiting for. I'm going to start with 12 this week and move up to number 1. Cody is obviously number 12. 0-5, he's the only team without a win. I still hold that he will have a win before the end of the season. I don't know who he's going to beat, but I think he is going to catch someone. Number 11 is Eric. Eric is still not setting his lineup, so I'm punishing him by marking him at number 11 at 1-4. Number 10 is CJ, also a 1-4 team. CJ's acquisition of Kemba is going to help in his assist department, and that's really where he needs help as well. I thought that was a good idea on his part. Steven, I have as 10, just outside the playoffs. I'm not sure about these 2 and 3 teams. So there's 3 2 and 3 teams, but Steven actually plays Cody next week, and I think that he'll pick up a win. Matt and Kyle, who are my next 2, Matt being at number 9 and Matt being at number 8 and Kyle being at number 7. They play next week, so we're gonna learn just the difference between those 2. So right now, those 3 for me are kind of in the same category. Michael Porter Jr. is back now for Steven, I believe. We don't know about Trey, and we don't know about Booker. So that's kind of why I left Steven down there at the bottom. Getting into the top 6, I have Adam at number 6. He took the loss to you this week, and for that reason, I have you at the 5 spot. That little tiebreaker between you and Adam. Now, there is a reason I have Simmons above you, and that is because Simmons has won 3 in a row. His categories have been more impressive than yours, but I will note that you do have that tiebreaker with Simmons, just so everybody knows. That being said, I have Neiman falling a spot here to number 3, and then I have Doug, as we talked about, number 2 here. His team's looking incredible. He deserves to be here. And I'm obviously still number 1 until I take a loss. I think I'm going to stay there. Speaking of losses, we'll get right into next week. Mr. Modest plays Doug. Doug's the home team, and Doug is loaded. I'm not really sure what's going on with my team right now. Wendell Carter is doubtful for Monday. I'm going to have to cycle here, and I'm going to have to hope for a Greek or Murray TD, just like I've been relying on all season. If I can get that, I might have a chance, but I'm going to pick Doug here. And the reason why I'm going to pick Doug is every time I pick Doug, he loses. So I'm hoping this reverse psychology thing really helps me out this week. I'll need all the help I can get.
I noticed you didn't pick Blake Griffin as a triple-double threat, huh? Interesting.
Well, he sat this week on the back-to-back, so isn't that exciting?
Oh, man. Him and LaMarcus have just been really tearing it up, old guy style.
I'm surprised you haven't said anything about Grant's game yesterday. 2 for 17 from the field. He had 15 consecutive 20-point games. And then when field goal percentage was so key between Kyle and I, he goes out and drops a 2 for 17 game. And I was heartbroken yesterday. I thought I was losing. I really did. I thought I was losing. I knew that I had a possibility of winning, but I was nervous, that's for sure. Like I said, I'm going to pick Doug. Who you got here?
I think I too am going to pick Doug. If both teams were completely healthy, I would think more about it, but I do think that it's going to be Doug this week.
I'm hoping that Jimmy kind of stays out for this week. Doug has me in all the shooting categories, but double doubles, triple doubles, steals, blocks. If I can compete in blocks, I don't think so, but I had a horrible block week this week for the record. Assists.
If I were you, I would not go after blocks.
I hear
I would let them go.
I hear you. So it's going to be close. It's going to be another nail biter, and it might just come down to which games are played and which games aren't played. So like I said, good luck to you this week, Doug. If I take the loss and Doug has the tiebreaker against me, he will be number one in my rankings next week. I'm saying it right now. Next matchup is your matchup, Joel Gibson. Now, all these are East versus West. Neiman is at Joel. So, Neiman getting the triple-double from Joker or something like that could be extremely large. LeBron, we don't know. Joel is starting to get healthy. Tatum might be back. Derek White definitely won't. But I'm going to hesitantly support my West guy in Neiman. You're rising up too much here, and it's making me nervous. So Neiman is definitely a contender. These top two matchups, in my opinion, contain 4 contenders. So I'm really interested to see how they go. If Neiman gets the triple-double, I think he stands a chance. If he does not, I think he'll probably pull it out.
I think one thing that's huge is the Rui Hachimura. If he is out most of the week, then Neiman just doesn't have a cycle spot. I mean, unless he's going to cycle Dort, which is a solid hold. But he's got 2 guys on his IR already in Horford and McCollum. Unless Horford comes back this week, which I don't really know. I haven't read anything saying when he's going to be back exactly.
It's personal, and I don't know if anybody has any idea when he's coming back. If he's just taking some time off to be with family. I have no idea, but he's out on personal. I don't think it's really injury related. I think it's his pick.
Well, if he does not cycle, then I think this will be a tasty cleanup for me, especially if Tatum's back in action. I know it shocks you, but I'm going to pick myself.
Wow, yowza. I am shocked. Yeah, it's going to be interesting because Neiman and I were so close. I'm just interested to see how you two stack up against each other. A lot of these are measuring sticks for me to just kind of see where I'm at. I have no idea where I'm at right now. That being said, next matchup is Kyle at Matt. Westbrook returning is huge for Kyle. Bam had a huge game for Matt the other night. But Matt just took the loss to Doug. Val is still out, I believe. I'm not sure if he's going to miss this week. Either way, I think I'm going to take Kyle. KD, Curry, Westbrook's back. Matt might be able to cycle him out, but I think Kyle has a light enough bottom that if Matt cycles, he'll cycle. So I'm going with Kyle.
It's tough. They're close.
They're very close. Make no mistake, it's not an easy decision. I'm not trying to be negative on Matt. It's just Kyle creates some specific issues that I think looking at Matt's team, he's going to struggle for the exact same reasons I struggled. Like, if you look at his line compared to Kyle and I's line, the discrepancies that I had, he's also going to have. So that's why I'm thinking a full week of Westbrook. Goodness, I couldn't believe I can't say that name. Could really change things like assists. Could change things like rebounds. It's going to be a little bit different. That's why I kind of sided with Kyle, and I think Kyle gets the trip, at least one this week.
Yeah, if Westbrook is playing all the games, then I like him over Matt this week, especially since Matt has just been unwilling to drop Lou Williams, who's been quietly killing him.
Quietly killing him. OPJ seems to be playing every other game randomly. His bottom is definitely a problem, but his top is solid. Like I said, he's still housing Bridges on his team as well. Yeah, Lou Will, 1 for 9 tonight. That's booty. Next one is going to be CJ at Adam. I really want to pick CJ, but I'm going with Adam. I think Adam had a bad opponent last week for him in that situation. But it could come down to cycling. And I think that CJ has an interesting situation where he might be able to double cycle where Adam doesn't necessarily have that. Close, but I'm going to say Adam at home.
Well, if he's starting the week off down Kemba, and if John Wall sits back-to-backs, yeah, I think I like Adam too.
Yeah, keep in mind that Lowry is out with the toe. So there's a lot of things here that Pascal, I think, sat as well. Like if that happens at any point this week, it is going to open some doors for CJ, no doubt.
And he's got Anthony Davis. That's a big difference maker.
Yes, a top 5 fantasy player. So let's all keep that in mind as well as we move forward. Next matchup's going to be Eric at Simmons. I don't think Simmons has a problem with Eric. If Capella shoots off another 10-block triple-double, maybe Eric gets the upset.
No. I'm going to stop you there. It doesn't matter if Capella gets another 10-block game.
But Wood's
Simmons
out.
Is winning.
Wood's out. Come on now. What if Wood's out the entire week?
Yeah. It still doesn't matter. It still just doesn't matter. Eric is not built very well.
Okay, all right. I'm picking Simmons, obviously. I'm just trying to create interesting storylines instead of, Simmons is going to murder him.
Well, I mean, most interesting thing might be Eric picking someone up who just goes off on the wire and then him not playing him.
I get the feeling that as much as we've been ragging on Eric, he might actually start setting his lineups. I can't say for sure, but
he's gonna pick up like Robin Lopez, and he's gonna have like a 20-30 game, and he's gonna be sitting on the bench.
Well, I mean, today Powell dropped a 20-piece with 6 assists, and he was right on Eric's bench there. So
Makes it tough to win.
It's so funny because had he played them, he would have won. He would have beat Steven had he played them. So he sat the win. Steven and Eric have both sat a win this year. Had Steven lost this matchup because Eric actually played his players, it would have been a very rough start for Steven. He'd be having some questions at this point. But this is the second time this year we have seen players sit a win. That is insane.
It would never happen if it were either you or I, and that's why we're champions.
That's why we are champions. Multiple championship winners. And believe it or not, I don't think Matt would miss something like that as the other champ. We got to include him in the Champs Club, unfortunately. So,
the ugly stepchild.
The ugly stepchild is Matt Hobert. I agree with that. Shout out to Matt, and bummer about those Bills today, big fella. Bill Nation is no more, or whatever you guys want to call yourselves. Last matchup here is Steven at Cody. This is one of those question marks for me that I think Cody could win. Harden being back for Steven is so big. Like I said, the problem that I have is we don't know about Booker. We don't know about Trey. Cody will cycle, I feel like, 5 of his roster spots if he has to.
Really, though? Does he want to win? Does he care about winning?
I have no idea. His team is literally look at next year. Like that's I don't know what he's doing exactly. Maybe, I don't know. Teague didn't play. I'm not sure why he's still housing him. Bertans is out, obviously.
Jay Crowder is old.
Jay Crowder is old. He got Garland back. I honestly have no idea. But one thing I do know is if Steven is without two of his three keepers, you never know, especially with how close Eric got this week. That's all I'm saying. I'm still going to pick Steven away. I think Harden's going to get the triple-double, and he's going to win. But if he doesn't have Young or Booker, he's going to have to look to cycle. That's it.
And he's not shown to be very willing to do that.
Yeah, I don't know if he's saving all of his money for a rainy day or what's going on, but he might need it this week, and I mean that. It could be a 5-5-1 tie if Harden doesn't pull off that triple-double. Like, Cody's in a good spot if he wanted to get this win. He could go after it.
Yeah, I don't hate a lot of guys on his team.
Yeah. Like I said, Cody is not an easy out. I think that Eric, CJ, Cody, Steven, like those bottom four teams, if they wanted to start cycling or if they had just like another piece or two, they're right in the mix. They're not out of it yet. Cody's probably out of it, being 0-5, but who knows? If Eric starts running through the East, if CJ runs through the East, completely different ball game. They might get in the playoffs. That's all I'm saying. Remember the year that I was like 1-10 and almost got in, the year that I was tanking because I cracked off 4 or 5 late when people were down and couldn't spend money and stuff like that? It could happen. That's all I'm saying. I don't want anybody to get discouraged just based on these first 5 games.
Just looking at it, Cody definitely could win if he dropped Klay Thompson and put Bertans on his IR spot and then just rotated the Jay Crowder and Jeff Teague spot.
Yeah.
I think that alone, if Steven is missing both or even one of those guys, he could win.
Yeah, and I mean, the way the schedule shakes out this week, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday are big cycle days where you can actually get some ads. I don't normally talk about those very much because I like keeping that information for myself. But that being said, I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking about Cody getting his first win next week.
Be a tough start for Steven.
Very tough. All right. Well, that being said, here at the end of January, moving into February, these games are getting postponed. I don't know what's going to happen with these games at the end of the year. They're just going to keep extending the season until they can get these games in. I have no idea what they're going to do. Our season will likely be over before that. But it kind of sucks if you have, like, Washington Wizards players who missed, 10 games, 8 or 10 games straight. And then it's after that 14-week span that they start playing those games. Imagine how pissed off Kyle's going to be. Kyle has Beal and Westbrook. That's 2 of his top 5 players, arguably.
Man, what a bitch. He should have seen it coming.
He's got to anticipate that. He's got to anticipate that COVID. What's he doing up there? Last thing, just shout out to Neiman. He had his son this week. So shout out to him. Joel, your birthday was semi-recently last week. So some things happening, just everybody keeping in touch and everything. It's nice to be back.
For sure. It's good to be back in the swing of things.
All right. Well, we'll see everybody next week.
Sounds good, man.
All
Good
right.
luck.
Bye. You too.